Right. So properties of pure substances. So I already discussed a little bit about this one. Okay. So it is of fixed chemical composition. Means it should be homogeneous. If a substance is homogeneous, then we can call it as a pure substance, right? So it's not compulsory that it should consist of only one substance. There may be combination of two substances, provided they should be uh, homogeneous. Then we can say that the combination of two also a homogeneous. It's not about a single element. There may be two components, but they should be homogeneous. Okay, I'll give an example in the next slide. Okay. So let us consider a mixture of ice and liquid water. So, and the second case I am considering mixture of liquid air and air, right? So if you see first case, ice and liquid water having same structure, same chemical composition. Therefore, the combination of ice and liquid water can be called as a pure substance. Okay. And whereas coming to liquid air and normal air, they are not called as pure substance because the reasons I mentioned here. A mixture of two or more phases of a pure substance is still pure substance as long as the chemical composition of all the substances is same. If the chemical composition of both the substances are same, then we can say that is also a pure substance. Okay, and ice and liquid water I am taking. Okay, so this is a pure substance because both the phases, that is liquid phase as well as ice phase, having same chemical composition, right? So there is no chemical reactions are taking place, I can say. So chemically both are inert. Therefore this is a pure substance. The combination of ice and water is a pure substance, though there are two substances are there, but their physical composition is same, both the physical composition. Therefore it is, the combination is also a pure substance. Whereas coming to liquid air and air, so we know that air is a combination of nitrogen, oxygen, other gases, carbon dioxide, so many, right? And air alone is a pure substance. Air alone is a pure substance, and liquid air is alone is a pure substance. But if we mix air with the liquid air, what is happening, we will see. So the chemical composition of air is nitrogen is there, maximum percent, then oxygen, then argon, very small, and carbon dioxide, right? If you the composition of air is this much. Whereas coming to liquid air, right? So liquid air consists of 78% of nitrogen, 21% of oxygen, and 1% of argon, right? And both are pure substance, but the chemical composition is different. So the mixture of air and liquid air is not a pure substance. Is it clear? Pure substance need not to be a single substance. There may be combination, provided their physical components, their physical structure should be same. Clear na about pure substances?
So what is liquid air, sir?
What is liquid
Liquid
air?
air,
That's
sir.
what liquid air means. The moisture content. You can see the difference between air and liquid air. In air, nitrogen is 78%. In liquid air is also 78%, right? And here it is 21% of oxygen, 21%, right? In liquid oxygen, there is no carbon dioxide, and there is no other gases. Carbon dioxide is not there in the liquid air. In the absence of carbon dioxide, the air can be called as liquid air.
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Now, so phases are already discussed. So basically any substance, right, can exist in three different phases. That may be solid phase or liquid phase and gaseous phase, right? So if you see solids, in solids the molecules are tightly packed. Okay, the molecules are tightly packed. The intermolecular force of attraction, is very high, and that is the reason they are very rigid. They have definite shape and size and volume. Right? So whereas coming to the liquids, the intermolecular force of attraction is little less as compared to the solids. That's why they have volume, but they don't have definite shape. In which container we are pouring, that shape they will occupy. And whereas coming to gases, the intermolecular force of attraction is very high. They are free to move. So means if you keep solid, liquid, and gas on a table, solid will remains in that position and liquid starts flowing, right? So naturally liquid will move from high density, I can say, high altitude to low altitude. Okay, and whereas coming to gases, they completely escape or evacuate to the atmosphere. Okay, so that is a property of the gases. And I already told here. So from state 1 to state 2 and state 2 to state 3, the pressure remains constant. Here P is constant. Here also P is constant. But here you can see both are at liquid. This is liquid. This is also liquid. Both are at same phase, but temperature changes. So I can call it as it is sensible heating. In sensible heating, phase remains the same but different temperature. Whereas in case of here, from here to here, part of the liquid is converted into vapor. So therefore, and the temperature remains constant. Temperature is also constant, but phase changes occurs. This is called latent heat. Sensible heat means different temperature but same phase, whereas coming to latent heat, same temperature but different phases. I already explained in the first unit itself the difference between latent heat and sensible heat. Right, and this is a representation of constant pressure line in TS diagram, and I already explained this left side line is called saturated liquid line and right side line is called saturated vapor line. This liquid line and vapor line are intersecting at a point. This point is called a critical point. Above this point it will behave as a perfect gas. Above this one it has the properties of perfect gas. And if you move left side of this one, this is subcooled zone, and this is the combination of liquid plus vapor, and this line is the liquid and this line is the vapor, and the right side of this is the superheated vapor. If you heat further at constant pressure, I can call it as superheated vapor, saturated vapor, liquid plus vapor, saturated liquid, subcooled liquid. So means if you move towards left to right, first subcooled liquid will be there, subcooled liquid, then it will be saturated liquid, then liquid plus vapor, then saturated vapor, then superheated vapor. This is the means if you increase the temperature at constant pressure, the phases are changing like this. Now, as it just now I explained, this is the critical point and liquid line, vapor line. This is one pressure, P2 pressure. This is one more pressure. So this dotted line shows constant pressure lines. This is the subcooled or compressed liquid zone. This is superheated zone. And saturation is defined as the condition in which a mixture of vapor and liquid can exist together in equilibrium at a given temperature and pressure, right? The corresponding temperature is called saturation temperature and the corresponding pressure is called saturation pressure, right? Both liquid and vapor can exist together in equilibrium. That is called saturation, right? So the pressure corresponding to that is called saturation pressure, in which liquid and vapor phases are in equilibrium at the temperature. Similarly, we can define saturation temperature also. Okay, and for pure substance, there is a definite relationship between pressure and temperature, saturation pressure and temperature, right? And as I already told, if you decrease the pressure, the boiling temperature will decrease. If you increase the pressure, boiling temperature will increase. Means the higher the pressure, higher the saturation temperature. Okay, so at atmospheric pressure, the saturation temperature of water is 100 degrees centigrade. If you decrease the pressure, atmospheric pressure, then the saturation temperature will also decrease in proportionate. Okay, and if you see on x-axis I am taking saturation temperature, on y-axis I am taking saturation pressure, right? So usually one atmospheric pressure is equals to 1 bar. So 1 bar is also called as 1 into 10 power 5 Pascal. Means 1 bar is also called as I can say 100 into 10 power 3. 10 power 3 is kilo, 100 kilopascal. And this is also equal to 1 into 10 power 5 Newton per meter square. Means 1 bar is equals to 100 kilopascal. Even 1 bar I can also call as 0.1 megapascal. Conversion is very, very important. If you any doubt, please ask me. 1 bar is equivalent to 100 kilopascal in terms of kilopascal, and this is also equivalent to 0.1 megapascal. Okay. Now, if you see somewhere here, we landed 100 kilopascal. So this is equivalent to 1 bar pressure. This is 1 bar pressure. What is the corresponding temperature, saturation temperature? it is around 100 degrees centigrade. And if you increase the pressure, one bar to, this is 2 bar, then saturation temperature will also increase in proportion. At 4 bar, this is the saturation temperature. At 6 bar, this is the saturation temperature. At 0.5 bar, this is the saturation temperature. If you decrease the pressure, the temperature will also decrease. It varies linearly with the pressure. You can see on right side, at 100 degrees centigrade, 100 kilopascal. This is a pressure or system. 100 kilopascal is nothing but this is 1 bar pressure. Clear now? The boiling pressure or saturation pressure. At 1 bar pressure,
Yes.
the saturation temperature is 100 degrees centigrade. Okay, the same thing here. If the substance exists as liquid at the saturation temperature and pressure, we can call it a saturated liquid. If the substance exists liquid at the saturation temperature, that is called saturated liquid. If it is exist let a vapor, I can call it a saturated vapor. And if it is superheated, we can call it a superheated vapor. Okay. If the temperature of the liquid, is less than the saturation temperature, right? If the temperature of the liquid is less than saturation temperature, means it will move towards left side. If we move towards left side, then I can call it a subcooled liquid or compressed liquid. If the temperature is less than the saturation temperature, then that fluid is called subcooled liquid or compressed liquid. Okay. And if a substance exists entirely as vapor, substance earlier it is liquid, right? Less than the temperature of the liquid is less than the saturation temperature, we call it as a subcooled liquid or compressed liquid. And if the substance exists only in the gaseous form or only in the vapor form, I can call that as a saturated vapor. Saturated vapor means it exists only in the vapor form. And if the vapor is at a temperature greater than the saturation temperature, means it will move towards the right of the saturated vapor line, we can call it as a superheated vapor. See, you can if you if you understand this one, it is easily to remember. Okay, so if you remember this curve, liquid line, if you move left side, if the temperature is less, it is subcooled. Vapor line, if the temperature is more, it is superheated vapor. That's it. This one, superheated vapor. If the vapor is at a temperature greater than the saturation temperature. So this is the saturation temperature corresponding to one particular pressure. Okay, this is constant pressure line. This is the saturation temperature corresponding to one particular pressure. And if you move towards right, means if the temperature is greater than that, then we can call that vapor as superheated vapor. The pressure and temperature are independent properties. The pressure and temperatures are independent properties, since the temperature may be increased while the pressure remains constant, right? So you can see one more best example. This is the pressure line, right? So here pressure is constant, but if you add the heat, first it will come to the liquid state, and liquid plus vapor. So this is liquid plus vapor, and this is vapor, and this is superheated vapor, right? But throughout the process, pressure remains constant. That's what the pressure and temperature of superheated vapor are independent. Okay, right. I already explained latent heat. Latent heat means there will be change of phase, but temperature remains constant. The amount of energy absorbed or released, the amount of energy absorbed, required or released during the phase change of the process, means, let us say, when the energy is released, when the energy is absorbed, right? Now, right. If you want to convert water to the steam, there you need to supply the energy, right? If you want to convert water to the steam, there you need to apply the heat. That is nothing but adding the energy. If you want to convert steam to the water, means the cooling of the steam. During the cooling of the steam, I can call it as condensation of steam. During that process, the heat is lost by the steam. I can say heat is released by the steam. Okay, so that is the latent heat. Latent heat means the amount of energy that may be absorbed or released during the change of its phase. Okay, and latent heat of fusion. Okay, so latent heat of fusion means the amount of energy absorbed during the melting, the amount of energy required to melt the ice. To convert ice at 0 degree centigrade to water at 0 degree centigrade, because in latent heat temperature remains the same, only phase is going to change. Ice is solid phase, whereas water is liquid phase, right? So in order to convert ice at 0 degree centigrade to water at 0 degree centigrade, the amount of heat energy required is called latent heat of fusion. You got the point? Yes,
Yes,
or
sir.
no? Latent heat of fusion to convert ice into water. To convert ice into water means that is melting process. So ice it is solid state, liquid it is liquid state, right now. So but both the temperatures are same, but phases are different. That is called latent heat of fusion. And whereas coming to latent heat of vaporization, it is liquid to vapor. So in fusion, it is solid to liquid. Fusion is the solid to liquid, ice to water, and this is liquid to vapor. Okay, so this is vaporization, this is the liquid to the vapor. So the amount of energy required to convert liquid into vapor, or we can define the amount of energy absorbed during the vaporization. Okay, and this is also equivalent to energy released during condensation. As I told, if you cool the steam, it will loses its energy, so that energy is released. So how much amount of heat is absorbed during the heating process or during the vaporization process, the same amount of heat will be released during the condensation process. Condensation process is nothing but cooling process, whereas vaporization process is nothing but heating process. If you heat the liquid, it will be converted into vapor, that is a vaporization. If you cool the vapor, it will be converted into liquid, that is called condensation process. Okay, and you might have studied all this thing school age only. Just a revision, let us assume. Okay, and at 1 atmospheric pressure, the latent heat of fusion of water is 333.7 kilojoules per kg. Means if you are doing the latent heat of fusion, means let us say if you take ice at 1 atmospheric pressure, the amount of heat required to convert ice into water is equals to 333.7 kilojoules per kg. Means if the ice mass is 1 kg, it requires 337 kilojoules of heat to convert into water. And the latent heat of vaporization means to convert this water into vapor. So how to convert water into vapor? Again, you have to add the heat. If how much amount of heat is required to convert water into vapor? 2256 kilojoules of energy is required to convert 1 kg of ice into the steam. So 1 kg of water into the steam, that is called vaporization. Clear now? This 333.7 is to convert ice into water, and this 2256 is to convert water into vapor. Now, next will be quality of the steam, right now. Right. So when a substance exists as a part of liquid and vapor, let us take if let us say it is two-phase mixture, it is a combination of liquid plus vapor. It is a combination of liquid plus vapor at saturation conditions, right? Now I can define the quality of that particular steam, and it is defined as the ratio of mass of vapor to the mass of the mixture. Mass of the mixture. So mixture is nothing but MIXURE. Mass of mixture is nothing but, mixture means it may be combination of liquid plus vapor. So it is defined as the ratio of vapor to the mixture, liquid plus vapor. This is called quality, right now. So it is denoted by symbol X. If it is pure liquid, the quality is equals to saturated liquid is 0. The quality of saturated liquid is 0. And if it is saturated vapor, I can call the quality as 1. It is also called as dryness fraction. Dryness fraction. This value is equals to 0 for liquid, because dry is no, it's so pure wet. Okay, so dryness fraction for liquid will be 0, and dryness fraction for vapor will be 1. If you superheat this one, then the dryness fraction, okay, will be increased. Okay, and right. So for example, if you take, is it is clear? Quality is nothing but mass of vapor to the mass of the mixture. Mixture means it is maybe combination of liquid plus vapor. This is called quality. So you can call it as dryness fraction and wetness fraction also. Okay. Right. So let us take example. A mass of vapor is given and mass of liquid is given. Mass of vapor. So what is its Dynamics fraction, right? Now, as I told, it is the ratio of vapor to the mixer. Mixer means liquid plus vapor. Vapor is how much? 0.2 divided by liquid is 0.8 plus 0.2. So that is equals to 0.2 by 1, right? Now, so 0.2 by 1. So that is equals to, it is equivalent in terms of percentage, it is 20 by 100 percentage. So I can call it as 20%. 20 by 100, I can call it as 20%, right now. So liquid vapor by liquid plus vapor. Vapor by liquid plus vapor, I can call it as mixture. This gives the dryness fraction or quality of the steel. Right. So we used to denote with symbols F, G, Fg. If it is saturated liquid, it is suffix will be F. Let us say HF, SF, VF. Means enthalpy of the liquid or enthalpy of the fluid, entropy of the fluid, specific volume of the fluid. I can call it as fluid or liquid. Okay, F suffix for. Whereas coming to Z, I can call HG, SG, VG, like that. Means enthalpy of the gas or enthalpy of vapor, entropy of the gas or entropy of vapor, and specific volume of vapor, right? And sometimes I can say HFG, VFG, SFG. Means it is the two phase. Means it is the combination of liquid plus vapor. Means in between this line and this line, I can call it as HFG, right? SFG. Here I can call it as HG on this line or above this line, SG. And on this line, I can call it as HF, SF. Got the clarity? Liquid, vapor, and combination, liquid plus vapor. The terminology is clear or not? Please tell me. F suffix for fluid or liquid, G suffix for gas or vapor, FG suffix for combination of liquid plus vapor.
So
Easy,
how to
clear?
read that, sir?
Enthalpy, how to read? So let us say if you take HF,
The last one, sir.
enthalpy of fluid or latent heat.
Yes, sir. Liquid plus vapor.
This one you are right. I can call it as enthalpy, latent heat. I can say latent heat.
Okay, sir.
Or we can. This is again one more thing. This HFG is nothing but Hg minus HF. Difference of enthalpy of gas and fluid is called HFG. And SFG I can written as SG minus SF, second minus first. And similarly, VFG can be written as VG minus VF. Okay, if it is HFG, I can call it as latent heat, and whereas SFG, entropy of liquid and gas, specific volume of liquid and gas. Like that, you can read.
Okay, sir.
And the moisture content of the substance is the opposite of the quality. The moisture, just now we discussed about quality. Quality is equals to mass of vapor by mass of mixture, liquid plus vapor, and 1 by quality is equals to liquid plus vapor by vapor. This is called moisture content. Right? This is called as moisture content. The reverse, the reciprocal of quality is called moisture content. Okay, na?
Yes, sir.
Right. For fluid, what is the quality? Dryness fraction. For fluid, what is the X value? Dryness fraction. Means on saturated liquid line, what is the X value? Here I told X value. Here it is there. Here for liquid, Dennis fraction is 0. For vapor, Dennis fraction equals to 1. In between that, it will change. Liquid plus vapor. That for fluid means if you see this line, TS diagram. So on this line, the x value is equals to 0. On this line, the x value is equals to 1. In between, it will vary x greater than 0 and x less than 1 because it is combination of liquid plus vapor. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Please tell me, x is equals to 0 means it is single phase, that is liquid. X is equals to 1 means it is also a single phase, it is vapor. If x is greater than 0 and less than 1, it is two phase mixture. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Please answer. Right. Now, in this, let us say, this one specific volume, we are writing in terms of quality. Okay, in terms of quality, we are writing. Okay, or I can call it as Dennis fraction. Right. So, if you are rearranging, this is the standard equation. So, means V is equals to, sorry, V is equals to Vf, or else I will open the page. Okay. So V is equals to, right? That's not coming. 1 second. Okay, we'll write on that one. Right. Let me change the color. Right. So V is equals to Vf. Vf plus x into HFG. Okay, and H is equals to, for any physical quantity you can write HF. I'll explain in detail. X into, this is VFG, sorry, this is VFG and this is HFG. Similarly, S is equals to SF plus X into SFG. Okay, I'll explain. Suppose if I am assuming it is liquid, okay, if I am assuming it is liquid, what is the X value? Please tell me, all of you, please concentrate. Very, very important formula to solve the problems. If it is a liquid, what is the Dennis fraction? 0. Means if it is liquid, I should get V is equals to Vf, right? And I should get H
Yes,
is equals to HF and S is equals to SF. Means if you put 0 over here, what you will get, tell me? V equal to Vf only, you will get it. And H is equals to HF.
Yes, sir.
And S is equals to SF, right? Right. Again, as I told, this VFG can be written as VZ minus VF. VZ minus VF. And similarly, this HFG can be written as HG minus HF. And SFG can be written as SG minus SF. And suppose, let us assume my substance is vapor. My substance is saturated vapor. For saturated vapor, what is the Dennis fraction?
1, sir.
Please answer. 1, right? Means for vapor, I should get V is equals to Vf or VZ.
VG,
For
sir.
saturated vapor, V equal VZ, right? Right. And for vapor, Dennis fraction equal to 1. If you put X value is equals to 1, if you see here, Vf plus Vz minus Vf. What is the left here? V is equals to Vz, you are
VG,
getting? Yeah, similarly, if you put X is equals to 1 over here, HF are cancelling, you will get H is equals to HG. right? And similarly, SF are cancelling, S is equals to SG. Very, very, very important formula to solve the problem. We can use this formula for either entropy or enthalpy or specific volume. Specific volume in terms of mixture. Okay, na?
Yes, sir.
Right? So that's what here I explain. HFG is equals to HG minus HF, like that. Okay. Just remember second minus first. And now I will show you stream tables, how to use stream table. Okay, with this we will stop this today's, and I will show you stream tables once. How many students are there in the class? Let me. 8 members only. Okay. Do you know what is stream table?
Yes, sir.
Have you seen stream tables before?
Yes, sir. We used it before.
In where? In schooling?
In diploma.
Diploma.
sir.
Okay, in diploma. Okay, diploma, right? So for regular students, please listen. So this is a stream table book. It is a PDF copy. Okay, and so many authors are there. Standardized one is Kuni will follow. That's also okay, no issue. Use the stream table. Depends upon the conditions given in the problem. You should use which table. Stream, everything will be your definition. What is specific volume? What is internal energy? OP. Okay. So right, like that they'll give. Even you can see HFG, everything. The terminology will be there. HFG is the two-phase mixture. Drainage fraction lines. Okay. So these things you can see here. And contents, if you see, can you see the content page? Right. So basically we have 5 tables. So first table is first and second tables are water and steam table. First and second tables are water and steam table. Only difference is first table is based on the temperature. If you know the temperature, the other properties in the sense the specific volume you can take, enthalpy you can take, entropy you can take. Okay, that may be if it is steam, we can go for Hg or HFG, or if it is water, you can see HF. If it is a volume, if it is water, specific volume of the fluid. If it is steam, specific volume of the gas. Based on the temperature, we can see, and this is based on the pressure. Both tables are similar. Okay, so this is the first and second tables are for saturated water and steam. And if you want to see the tables based on the specific volume, and these 3 tables are for superheated steam, and first 2 tables are saturated steam. Okay, and the rest 3 tables are superheated steam. Okay, yeah.
Sir, I can't see the table.
You can't see the table. 1 second.
Even I can't see.
I shared the screen.
I left the meeting and
1
joined
second. Again, I will share it. Okay, again I am sharing. Again I am sharing. Now, can you see? All of you.
Yes, sir.
All of you. The other person who said he can't see last time.
No, we can't.
Right. Now, so first 2 tables for water and saturated steam. Both are same tables, but this is the temperature based and this is the pressure based. Okay. And the rest 3 tables are for superheated steam, and one is based on the specific volume, and the second one is the specific enthalpy, and the third one is the specific entropy. We have 5 tables over here. Okay, I'll show you one table now. Right, you can see saturated water and steam table based on the temperature. Means first column will be the temperature. So for the temperature table or pressure table, the values will remain same. So here temperature will be there, here pressure will be there for temperature based. For pressure based, you can see pressure will be the first column, temperature will be the second column. Now you can see pressure will be the first column, so this will be the temperature, right? And both the values are same. Both the values are same for particular value. Now I'll show you one thing. Now, as we know, the saturation temperature of water is how much? Saturation temperature of water 100 degree,
100, sir.
right? Now at 100 degree, what is the pressure? 1.013. What is the units given here? Starting phase, right? So pressure units are given in bar. You can see temperature in degree centigrade, absolute pressure is in bar. Okay, na? So saturation temperature is 100 degree centigrade at what pressure? At 1 bar pressure. Okay. Now the same thing, let me check in the pressure based table. This is the pressure based table. So go for the pressure at 1 bar, the saturation temperature should be equal to 100. Yes or
100,
no?
yes, sir.
100. Now you can see this is 1.013. This is what is the temperature here given? What is the temperature given?
99.
100 degrees centigrade. Yes or no? Yeah, so atmosphere pressure is 1.013 exact value. But easy purpose, so for calculation purpose, we are taking 1 bar. There is not much difference. There is not much difference between 1 and 1.013. Okay. And if you see one more value, VF. What is VF? Specific volume of the fluid. What is this value? 0.001044. Okay. Now we go to the temperature table. Temperature table at 100 degrees centigrade. What is VF? 0.001044. Got the same value?
Yes, sir.
Please answer my question. Means the saturation, water and steam tables are same, provided if you know pressure, you have to use second table. If you know temperature, you have to use first table. But as we know, pressure and temperatures are varying, right? If you decrease the pressure, the temperature will also decrease. If you increase the pressure, temperature also increase, right? At a particular, let us say you want to, let's say at 30 degrees centigrade, water is given. 30 degrees centigrade water is given, right? So for water, we can see specific volume of the water, we can note down 0.001004, and enthalpy of water, HF, we can note down, entropy of water, we can note down. Got the point? If it is water, only you should take F. Entropy of fluid, enthalpy of fluid, and specific volume of the fluid. Suppose let us say some 120 degrees given, steam is given, steam at 120 degrees is given. If it is steam, which value you will take? Vg you can take,
AG, sir.
HG you can take, even HFG also you can take, and SFG you can take, SG also you can take. Depends upon the conditions you have to use. If it is water, only fluid values we can take. If it is steam, we have to use gases. Okay, na?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So next in coming classes we will solve the problem so that it will be more clear how to use the steam table. If you know how to use this